Okay, so happy Friday, everyone. Let's get to my low, my high, my acting kindness. Okay. I didn't say good morning. Good morning, everyone. Okay. What's my low? Um, I guess it's a combination of things. Specifically, how while my mom did make it to Colorado safely, which is my high, by the way. I do kind of miss her. And on top of that, it's been like the worst kind of weather outside. Here's the thing, like, everybody said we were supposed to get snow. And we haven't really got any snow yet. Frankly, it's been a little too warm for snow. I mean, technically snow did fall last night. I most definitely remember, like, walking in out of my car, looking up, and what was falling down was, snow. But it's not sticking right now. If anything, all it looks like right now is it's raining. Like, and kind of a weak rain at that, so I don't know. We were supposed to get like 8 inches of snow. We didn't. But the weather's still cold. Like, if you have, now would be the perfect time of year where if you want to keep something that's perishable in your car, you might be okay to do that. Because it's that cold outside right now. On top of that, because of the rain, it's also damp, so it's really going to feel cold. Such is my life. Again, my high is that my mom made it to Colorado safely. That was most important. Actually, one of my acts of kindness was I gave her a call. As well as, I was carrying stuff for some people yesterday. And, I did a few favors for some people yesterday in terms of, like, carrying stuff. So, that wasn't bad. But, my mom made it to Colorado safely. That's most important, which, considering that it was her birthday, that's huge. Fun fact, I once read this a few years ago, but the day you're most likely to die is actually on your birthday. Statistics have shown that, like, the day you're most likely to die is on your actual birthday. Considering my mom flew out to Colorado and I really was worried for her safety, I mean, listen, it's like I said yesterday, I told my mom I loved her, got to be with her one more night. As sad as I would be if she passed, I know that I was able to spend that last time with her, should anything have happened on the way to Colorado. But nothing did. She made it to Colorado safely. My cousin and my aunt, took her out and about, wined and dined her, because again, yesterday was her birthday. And at some point during her trip, they're going to see the Wicked movie, which I hear it's going to be a wicked good time. Actually, I've been seeing the reviews on Wicked. Like, at one point it was like a 96. I was like, actually, hold on. Rotten Tomatoes. Or Rotten Tomatoes if you're across the pond. Okay, 90%. Okay, 96 to 90. I mean, it's still in the 90s, and that's still something impressive to behold. So, Wicked reviews are in, everything your musical should be. Okay, so I'm very interested to see how it goes. I mean, again, honestly, if there's one movie I'm looking forward to seeing more this year than any other that I have seen so far this year, it's Moana 2, which I'm already ready to go see. Well, and thankfully, because it's supposed to come out on the 27th, which is next Wednesday, but you know how it works. Like, the day before it's supposed to come out, they're going to be showing the movie like the day before, technically. So, yeah, I'm definitely seeing Moana next Tuesday. I'm excited. Man, I haven't been to the movies in a while. Like, I want to go to the movies. I really do. Especially when I like going to the movies. Plenty of stuff to look forward to. Not to mention, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Gladiator 2 and Wicked clearly came out the week before Thanksgiving because they want to get a head start on the holiday season, because that's when, box office numbers really like to go up. But with family visiting from all over the country, for many of us in this country, Moana 2 is going to make bank. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it makes its budget within the first week. I mean, I don't know. Actually, hold on. Let's see. Disney animated movie with the biggest box office opening. Okay, here's the thing. I was actually going for Disney's animated canon, so no Pixar movies, and Inside Out 2 is the highest grossing animated film of all time worldwide, which is great, but that's not the movie I was looking for. Okay, highest grossing animated films. Okay, in terms of Disney's animated canon, that would be Frozen 2. Okay. So, again, I'm going for like Disney's animated canon, and apparently the top 5 are Frozen, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Frozen 2, which is the one I was looking for, in terms of, again, Disney's animated canon. Like, for those of you who don't know, a Disney Pixar movie is not the same as a Disney movie. There is a difference. Like, Pixar is technically its own studio that Disney bought, and it's under the Disney name, where Frozen and Frozen 2, like, they were legitimately Walt Disney's animation studio. And in terms of Walt Disney's animation studio, Frozen 2 is the highest grossing of all time. So, okay. Actually, is Moana even on this list? Okay, it's 34th. Alright. Okay, so, right, enough dilly-dallying. Let's get to the business at hand. Foremost, I was actually wrong about last night's game. I really thought the Steelers are going to win outright against the Browns of all. Like, okay, for reference, my Cowboys are doing terribly. There is not a chance in hell that my Cowboys are making the playoffs. And literally the first game of the year, we beat the Browns like 40-0. I think it was 40-0. Hold on. It was like... Okay, 33-17. But still, we crushed them. And we actually just barely beat the Steelers, which obviously are better than the Browns. But the Steelers should beat the Browns last night. I'm sorry, but this is why, like, some people are calling the Steelers, like, pretenders. But anyway, I got the pick wrong. So now for the week, that makes my record. I can bring it over here. 0-1 for the week. Okay, so because I got the pick wrong, I need to double save this. Okay. Fantastic. Now, let's get to talking about this week's episode of Hot Ones, because, I mean, like Ariana Grande, Bowen Yang was on Hot Ones to promote Wicked, which, literally the first question Sean asked was about Wicked, which was, this proudest day on the set of Wicked, which then he went into a story, then Bowen Yang went into a story about how, like, filming and shooting didn't start until, like, March or April of this year. However, there's choreography for a dance he learned back in November in 2023. So he learned the choreography and they said, just keep that, we'll refresh your choreography, in March, April when we start shooting again. And they didn't do that. So he was freaking out, had a panic attack around the choreography, but everybody around him was supportive. And that's actually here's the thing. Let's say for the sake of argument that I was ever in a movie, and the movie wound up being terrible. But during production, I was surrounded by I was working with and was surrounded by a group of people who were supportive. That would make me okay with that. Because you know what? More often than not, when you work on a production of any kind, movie or in the theater or whatever, you wind up creating bonds of friendships that really do stand the test of time. And you can look back on those memories very fondly because of it. And that's awesome. I'm really glad that, listen, I literally just talked about how Wicked is a 90% Rotten Tomatoes. To say that the cast was supportive of one another, that's an understatement. They talked about how he wrote the Beyonce Hot Ones sketch on SNL and justified it as comedy math. Describing the podcast he does with comedian Matt Rogers. Matt Rogers is actually quite funny. Called the Las Culturistas. And basically what they do is just tell people how amazing they are. As well as tips for potentially interviewing Mariah Carey. Which, Mariah Carey hasn't been on Hot Ones yet, has she? And just about everybody makes fun of the fact that we hear Mariah Carey's Christmas music all the time at this time of year. So, that'd be interesting. I think Mariah Carey made for a great Hot Ones guest. He talked about his first conversation with Lorne Michaels. If you don't know, Lorne Michaels is the creator of SNL, which basically, it's Lorne Michaels. This is a big name that, he only made one first impression. Bowen Yang kind of went over how he kind of messed it up, but eventually he got to meet Lorne Michaels on a human level and they could relate to each other, and that's awesome. Listen, no matter how big a person gets in terms of how successful they are or what they're known for, we're all still people in the end. The fact that we're all human is already a solid foundation to finding common ground. It's what you do with that information that makes a difference. He talked about the goofiest and most practical warm-up exercise, which basically he was out with friends and he talked about how they would go out and they bombed in terms of I think they're doing either stand-up or karaoke or something, but they did terribly. But basically it's how you build a hard shell. Normally when a person bombs on stage, it really can be devastating. That's actually why I've never really pursued stand-up or singing. I probably could. I don't know if I could take rejection or bombing. I don't know if my fragile psyche could handle that. But this is how people develop thick skin, so we'll see. He talked about unpacking the distinction between SNL and what people say about SNL. Because, being in a show, as someone who's actually been in theater, I can sort of decipher what Bowen Yang was saying here. Because I've done plenty of theater and stage work before, plays and stuff. Being in a show and what people say about your show are two completely different things. Like, when you're in a show, you know all the ins and outs about how it works. Like, except for like the director, if you work in a play, no one has better knowledge or information about what goes on than you do. And audience members, while they can be supportive, some are definitely jaded, like, oh, that only works, like X only works because of Y. And it's a lot more complicated than that in some cases. And SNL is the exact same way. And speaking of which, hold on. Sorry. I think it was at this point in the episode, Bowen Yang talked about how, listen, people want to think like, oh, this is SNL, this is top, like, it's a sketch comedy show. I think you can, expand your disbelief a little bit. I think you can sort of be a little flexible in terms of what you're looking at, is what he meant to say. He talked about his all-time favorite guest reaction to a sketch he pitched to a guest, which was the Bowen Straight to Sydney Sweeney, who was also a Hot Ones guest. Thinking that the 2024 meme of the year was Moodang. And then he talked about the Mount Rushmore of albums of 2024, which, keep in mind, he kind of went like back and forth. The editing did not do this moment in the episode justice, because he said Cowboy Carter, Eternal Sunshine, Hit Me Hard and Soft, and Short and Sweet. And unfortunately, because of the editing in this particular moment, at least to my eye test, it didn't really seem as if, like, I think he mentioned like a fifth album, but because of the editing, I don't think we got to hear what that fifth album was. And he was like sections between Sabrina Carpenter and Ariana Grande. And like, wait, who did what album? What happened? Actually, I'm going to look that up right now. Obviously, Cowboy Carter was Beyonce. Hold on. Eternal Sunshine. Okay, that's the album. Eternal Sunshine, that's the album by Ariana Grande. Okay. Okay, Hit Me Hard and Soft, that was by Billie Eilish. Alright. What's Short and Sweet? Okay, so that was by Sabrina Carpenter. Wait, then that's 4 albums. Again, the editing, don't get me wrong, sometimes the editing in Hot Ones really isn't as good as it should be. Because I remember in like the Florence Pugh episode, Sean asked her, what are the Mount Rushmore of cheeses put on a cheese board? And she only said 3 of them before it cut to like the next wing, which a Mount Rushmore is supposed to be 4. I get with cheese boards, you're supposed to work in odd numbers. But, just let Florence Pugh say the last one and then move on to the next wing. That's my 2 cents about it. Don't get me wrong, those 4 albums I just mentioned, they all sound really good. But, yeah, I can tell you straight up, the best album of the year, The Death of Marshall Mathers by Eminem. Enough said. I could have told you that. He talked about an elevator pitch for those who haven't watched the 430 episodes of Grey's Anatomy. As in, imagine the unluckiest people in the world all in one place, and they still have to do their job. Okay, I'm in. And then, because Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers on their hit podcast Las Culturistas pretty much do like rants and like what's the word I'm thinking of? Basically, they do not roasting, but I can't think of the word. Anyway, basically unfiltered takes on the sauces, which, yeah, why not give it to one of the most, one of the people best known for insulting and being, snarky. Oh, snarky. That's the word. For giving snarky comments. That's what it was, I think. But yeah, this is a great episode. Again, Bowen Yang was clearly on there to promote Wicked, which, I mean, I'm pretty sure Wicked's gonna make bank very soon. In fact, I would be surprised if I wind up reading an article saying, for a November movie, this might be the biggest opening of all time. And what people don't even realize is, Wicked's gonna be a 2-part movie. And this is only part 1. If part 2 winds up doing even half as good as part 1, it's going to go down as the greatest 2-part movie of all time. At least in terms of box office. I mean, there'd be a lot to say about stuff like The Godfather or Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. But again, that's just me. I hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel on social media. As always, I'm your home this video. For you guys watching the show for him. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, the niggas want to talk shit with you to let me know what you're at. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby. Oh, shoot. I said it wrong. It's The Death of Slim Shady by Eminem. Not The Death of Marshall Mathers. Well, at least I corrected it here.